Okay. Okay. Today, inshallah, we'll start talking about schematic design. After finishing the program and the program analysis and the site analysis and all these pre-design activities, you meet with the client. You understand their needs, their special requirements, their dreams, their ambitions. So you familiarize yourself with what the client want from your project. This is a very important step so that you as an architect is fulfilling their dreams and ambitions. This is the part of where creativity comes to play. This is the part where we start to generate ideas from all these variables that we identified in the first part of the programming. And you have to have an idea, a statement, a story in your project. As Ludwig Wittgenstein said, good architecture expresses a thought. There must be a message. It's not only a functional solution. There must be something behind the idea that you present to your clients. So what is schematic design? It is the first phase of design of the project. As I said, some people specialize in programming and they provide the program to the designer. Some people specialize in site analysis and they provide the site report to the designer. You as a designer receive these documents and you start to synthesize the information about the site, about the program requirements, about the client ambitions and dreams and requirements, and make all that into something that a form that can satisfy their need. So at this stage, I recommend that you don't touch the computer. This stage is a creative stage. Computers, they slow down your ideas and they slow down the process and they take you to the track of computers. So here we need to depend very much on sketching. So using these nice yellow tracing papers, soft pencils, markers, anything that makes you sketch quickly. So at this stage, stay away from the computer. It does not give you anything more than your brain. So with rough sketches, show the general arrangement of rooms and placement on the site, and maybe 3D sketches of what kind of form you would like to have. You can use pictures as mood boards, you can use references, but don't use the computer to design. At this stage, this creative stage needs complete separation from the computer. Sketch paper is typically where all schematic design work is done, not on the computer. After you finish the idea and you know what you want to do, then the computer can help you quickly translate that into formal drawings, 3D, and so forth. And constantly going through layers and layers of sketches to quickly work through ideas. Those nice yellow tracing papers, they provide us with the opportunity to sketch quickly, freely, and we can put layers on top of each other to improve and correct and change our designs. So is the beauty of this part of design. This is the jewel of architecture that everyone likes to do, is to sit down and think and create something from scratch. So sitting with tracing paper, these nice white ones. I like the white ones more. Some people like the yellow ones because they are more comfortable for the eyes, or any different preferences. But I like these kinds of rolls. And these rolls are not made to be used as one sheet continuous. That you can cut parts and put it on top of each other, but it's a nice way to keep the unused part clean and close to your hand. So as you see here, the use of pencils, the tracing paper, this is the beauty of sketching at this time. And layers upon layers upon layers, and you keep your ideas and improve them all the time. And using pencils, using pens, using flomasters, ink, whatever you like, and try different types of pencils and pens. So this is the beauty of sketching on top of each other. And remember always to write the day and time of each sketch on the corner, so you can later rearrange them and not lose the sequence of your thinking. Any scale can be done by sketching. And this is the beautiful part about the design. You can keep sketching, and usually the job captain or the head architect, they only work on these sketches, and then they give it to draftsmen or sitting on computers to produce computer drawings. So believe me, people like to see these sketches in university or in work environment. People appreciate very much your sketches, and if it's a good quality sketching, as we see here. So this is an example of something similar to what we want to do for our project, but maybe it's a larger one. It's a small house with, it has an L shape, so it has a private courtyard, an entrance, parking, and some areas for family and master bedroom and sitting area. And it's all done by sketching. Sketching, sketching, sketching. This is very important at this stage. Please, I don't want to see any computer generated drawings at this stage. Only sketches and layers and layers of ideas. Now comes the magic word that we all look for or run after or struggle with. It's the word of concept. What is the concept? And why is it important to have a concept in your design? And how to generate the concept? Where do you get ideas from? And how to communicate these ideas to other people and make sure that they understand it. So in that regard, I think we'll start to define the word concept. Actually, if you ask every architect about the definition of concept, they might give you a different answer. Some will tell you the concept is the idea. Some will tell you it's the image that you produce. Others will tell you it's the theory behind the design, or it's your view, or notion, or intention. And the French use the word partie, which is commonly used in architectural language. Well, what is the partie of your project, referring to the concept? As you all know, architecture education started in France, in the Beaux-Arts. And some of the words that are used in our architectural language are still coming from that tradition, like the word skis, party, poche, all these يعني, different many words are still used in the architectural location that are coming from the French tradition. Some people tell you that the concept is the plan, but not the ground floor plan or the first plan, but it's the plan of action, the plan of building the product. It's the conception of the idea. It's the fancy, opinion, thought, abstraction, impression, philosophy, hypothesis, a belief, supposition, inspiration, design. Some people will tell you what the concept is the design. So everyone has a different notion or definition about what exactly is the word concept. So you have to prepare yourself to hear the same word in different ways. And also you have to have your own understanding what is the word concept. Again, concept, as we talked yesterday, is the intersection between the context, need, and form. These are the three elements that we work with all the time. As architects, we identify the need, functions, users, clients, and so forth, as we talked yesterday. And then we understand the context, the site, the climate, the buildings around it, and with the different requirements. And the third part is the form. So we keep struggling with the exterior and form and the interior space until we reach the middle part here, or this target, the red triangle here, which satisfies the needs, the requirements, the context, and the form at the same time. This might be only a solution, not the concept. The concept is actually the overriding environment that creates all these things together. So the concept is more than a solution. It's the idea, the analogy, the metaphor, the symbolism. You have to go beyond providing solutions to providing or generating concepts. So this is the same, but in Arabic. So prepare yourself at this stage to have these moments of creativity, of inspiration, of deep insight during your hard work. You cannot have ideas, you cannot have concepts if you don't have the base for that, the program, the site, and the form generation. Concepts and great ideas, they come during your work. They don't come if you are sitting looking from the window. You have to be working, and during your work, you'll get this inspiration for the ideas that you want to achieve. So we rely on going through a linear process, which is analysis, site analysis, program analysis, form analysis, and we try to synthesize all these together and evaluate the result at the end. Sometimes we don't go through this process. We go through a non-linear qualities. We get a flash of insight, and it takes us to what we call a creative leap. But without doing this linear process of analysis, synthesis, evaluation, we might never get into this point of creativity. And this is what we usually be inspired by great architects who sit down and sketch ideas directly. They have years and years of experience, and they store all this information in their minds. So they have a different process. So in the beginning, we have to go through the linear process until we reach these creative ideas. So creativity comes into play, and the efforts to find approaches will be original, aesthetically satisfying, valid solutions to problems defined through programming. That's why spending time in programming, spending time in site analysis will help you create better concepts and better ideas. Even experienced and highly skilled designers often find it difficult. Everyone finds it difficult to create ideas. It's not only you. It's the most difficult part. It's like writers who get these writer's blocks when they are sitting trying to write. They have what they call a writer block. What they do is that they rely on free writing. They write, they read until they have an idea what to write. So it's a difficult process. It's a creative process. And everyone will say that they think about the problem until they are hit by an idea. So it's something that happens, and you never know when, but you have to keep working. And if you have a deadline, you have to meet that deadline. So sometimes you get the idea when you are sleeping. That's why you have to have a paper or a sketchbook and a pencil beside your bed. Sometimes you get the idea and suddenly you wake up, oh, I got the idea. And then you can sketch it quickly and write it down. So the idea is happens or is born. We don't know when. It can happen while you're sitting, walking, watching TV, listening to music, eating. You never know when you get the idea. But if you don't have the information and elements to create it, it will never happen. So what we are trying to achieve is to provide good combination between form and function. The old saying of form follows function or function follows form, this is now obsolete. Both form and function are important. We have to satisfy the function and also create appealing and aesthetically appealing form. So form and function are both important consideration in architecture. No way any form doesn't follow function or function doesn't follow form. They are both complementing each other. So for any building, we have to not only think about the exterior form, we also have to think about the interior spaces. The exterior form is an expression that is seen by outsiders. But the interior space actually is the more important, because this is what people will experience when they are sitting in their homes. So as we show our hand, we have an exterior form and we have an interior space. The interior space is where people live and have activities and meet each other and do this and that. The exterior form is actually only the thing shown to other people outside. So our focus is mainly on the interior space. So I want you to tell me, when you look at the projects, these famous buildings, what would be the concept in each of them? Can we start with someone?
Doctor?
Yes.
All of these buildings are avant-garde because they challenged what was possible at the time of their construction.
Okay, select one of them and tell me what is the concept that the architect intended there. And tell me first row, second picture, and what is the building, and What is the
Okay,
concept?
the last one on the first column and last row, which is the Frank Gehry building, the Frank Gehry
Okay.
Museum. He was really influenced by paper when designing his buildings. So the edges was just possible because of when he used to wrap papers together and they would create edges, that he thought it was possible to create complexity in the form.
Okay. So someone else who finds a concept here?
Doctor,
Yes.
I can also find the dancing building for the same architect, Frank Gehry, on
Where?
the fourth
Which?
row.
Tell me. Row. First row. Third picture.
On the fourth row, third picture.
Fourth row. Third picture. Okay. Do you know where is this building?
I think it's in maybe in USA. I'm not sure.
No. This building is in Prague. I saw this building personally. This building is in Czech Republic, in Prague. And what is his idea behind this? What is the concept here?
There's like he visualized two people dancing, and I remember the sketch that he made, and then he turned it into a form.
Okay, and also there is come on, if you see this building yourself, it's shocking. Yani, you will be shocked. It's a very shocking experience. It's a very different yani, form, unusual, and also in its traditional context. The city of Prague is very classical city with many yani, old buildings, and this is a kind of a big change of mood. Okay, someone else can tell us about another concept?
Can I, Doctor?
Yes, yes.
Um, second row, third row, second column, we do center. I don't remember exactly what was the concept, but I think it appears to be making it inside out, as in exposing things that are not very aesthetically pleasing and making it aesthetically pleasing in a way that's coming from the approach of industrial period.
Okay, so this is it's representing the high-tech period and yani exposing all the technical systems outside the building and keeping it free space inside. This is also a very interesting experience if you visit Paris, to visit this building and see how it is working. طبعا any building, any project you look at, you have to try to interpret the concept and the idea behind it. If you know it, try to find if it's really there or not. If you don't know what was the concept behind it by the architect, or you identify the concept yourself and then look for references to understand whether this was really achieved or not. There are many levels that we go through to identify the concept. These start from very philosophical, meaning, social, cultural, experiential, and they go down to functional, form, structure, materials, lighting, ventilation. The concept must relate to all these levels at the same time. This is, if the concept is successful, it will be able to achieve all these levels at the same moment. And how do we achieve that? We keep working from deductive reasoning, from the general to the detail, and inductive reasoning. As architects, we need both. We need to think about the general philosophies, meanings, social, cultural, going all the way down to the details, ventilation and systems, and going up again. So our work will actually keep going back and forth between the general and the details, all the way until we reach the meanings that we want to see. The other thing that is important is that you have to make sure that people can read concepts in different ways according to their backgrounds. A businessman will see it as money. An intellectual will see it as a social and cultural statement. Someone might see it just a shopping place to buy things. A philosopher might see it that this is a utopian expression of higher philosophies. So each one can understand it in a different way. We as professionals, we have ways of communication that allows us to provide this information to each other, but you have to make sure that other people will read it in a different way. So we'll have to stop here and then continue because of the time limit. So we'll stop here now.